Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hope you guys enjoyed the trivia. There's more, so we have that to look forward to. And I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and jump in. We'll do introductions here in a second, but we'll do a little more trivia while we're waiting here. So let me share my screen here. I already said welcome, but welcome again. All right. Trivial trivia. Question 1. You guys feel free to use the chat, the Q&A for this. Which Christmas classic was originally written as a Thanksgiving song? Was it A, Let It Snow, B, Jingle Bells, C, Sleigh Ride, or D, It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas? Which makes sense because it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. If you said Jingle Bells, you are correct. It was written by an organist at a Unitarian, easy to say, at a Unitarian church and was performed during a Christmas concert at the church. It was originally titled The One-Horse Open Sleigh, but was republished later with the title we all know and love today. It was also the first song broadcast from space. Fun fact. All right, question 2. There's only 3. Hang in there with us. Trivial trivia. Here we go. What year was the first recorded Christmas celebration? What year was the first recorded Christmas celebration? Was it 76 AD, 224 AD, 336 AD, or 524 AD? Sarah, what do you think?
And seriously, the first Christmas celebration was when the angels showed up. So it was year 0. You don't have the answer there, Cody.
Oh, you're tricking us.
I am. It's okay. All I'm a twister.
Fair enough. Okay, well, that makes the answer weird, but here it is, 336 AD. And as we can see from this early church nativity fresco, that is true, clearly. All right, last question. Which Christmas song was written by a Jewish songwriter? Was it A, White Christmas, B, Let It Snow, C, Winter Wonderland, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, or all of the above? Sarah, thoughts?
I mean, anytime all of the above shows up, that's my pick because, right. Yay, I got one.
Woo! All right, seriously, let's get on with this webinar. All right, today's speakers are me, Cody Binder. I'm a product manager here at TouchPoint, newly minted, and the best partner success consultant that is on this webinar. That is Sarah Cavanaugh.
That is on this webinar. Thank you for the clarification.
You're very welcome, friend. Welcome to the other side of the webinar.
It's a little weird being on this side of things, so hope I don't screw it up.
Well, we're super glad you're on our team, friend. All right, let's do agenda real quick. What are we talking about? So, number 1, we're going to start with the purpose and the why behind this webinar. Here we are, July 25th, 2024, believe it or not. So Christmas is coming up. We'll talk about that. The planning that goes into it, what comes next, and then some what-ifs, some ideas for you guys. We want to remind you to have fun, not that you need, sometimes we kind of do need a reminder to have fun around Christmas time, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. Sound good? Great. Here we go. The purpose of today's webinar. So let me ask you guys real quick. When you think of Christmas, does it make you happy? Does it make you stressed? Or is it a little bit of both? I personally don't love that church leaders tend to kind of dread the holidays. I get it. It's a heavy lift. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to do in your professional life. There's a lot to do in your personal life. It is kind of a pressure cooker of a month. There's just a lot going on. So the purpose of today's webinar, our heart behind choosing this topic, is to make this Christmas a little bit better than last Christmas by giving you some ideas on how we can get started and get this, make the lift a little bit lighter, maybe spread out a little bit of the work along the way, and just give you some sort of pro tips in there as well. Okay, the why. I'm going to share some stats with you real quick. About 4 out of 10 Americans attend church once a month or more. 4 out of 10, 40% of Americans attend church once a month or more. Lifeway research found that 6 out of 10 Americans typically attend church at Christmas, so 60%. Rather than your sort of monthly average, it bumps up 20%, so 6 out of 10. However, and to me this is the important one, among those who don't attend church at that time, 57% of those who don't attend church said that they would likely go around Christmas if somebody that they knew invited them to go. So that's something to keep in mind. This could be a lot higher. That 60% could be a lot higher if we can, sort of encourage the people of our church to just, invite a neighbor, invite a coworker, invite a friend. I mean, people want to go. They just need somebody to go with. I think it's also important to remember there's a lot of activities around Christmas. I'll put it like this. Not very many people are going to come to Christ as their Lord and Savior because the decor in the building was on point. Not many, maybe some, but not many are going to come to Christ because of the decor or all the little things, all the little, not that they're not important. I'm not saying we shouldn't do everything with excellence to the glory of God, but just kind of keeping the main thing, right? So I think perhaps a good question to be thinking through as a team is, how does our church, the people of our church, make people feel when they come and visit for Christmas or Easter? Do they feel welcomed? Do they feel like they could see themselves as a part of our church? That's the why. I mean, that's why we do all of this. A lot of people are coming to church and they might stick, they might come to know Christ. That is the why behind all of this. So with that, I've talked enough. I'm throwing it over to you, Sarah. Here you go.
So yeah, I know, being on the church side, been there, done that. There are two big questions as we approach this season. You're going, oh, I got 5 months to get it done. But part of the stress is some of the stress self-induced. So there's two big questions I want you to think about as we walk through all of this today. Number one, what can you get done between now and October? I know you're thinking, but we're launching, we're returning to classes, we're returning to groups. That's July and August. I get that. But in September, I don't know if the rhythm works the same way at your church, but at our church, things kind of settle. Are there things that we can get done between now and October to set ourselves up so that we're not scrambling when all of a sudden we go, November 1st, Christmas is here. So what can you get done between now and October? And then the follow-up question, what are those things that you can't really get done now? They just have to wait. And how can we prioritize all of that? So as we're going through some of these things, start thinking to yourself, what can I do right now? And what's just gonna have to wait. So let's get started. Ready, Cody?
Yep, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. Working with your team. Who owns what? Plan your strategy. Who owns different things? Who's going to be in charge of volunteers? Who's going to be in charge of refreshments? Who's going to be in charge of the marketing? And how can your team lift together? I think sometimes we get so caught up in this is what has to happen for the Christmas party for the children's ministry that we forget to remember that at the same time, the senior adults are having their Christmas party in another part of the building. So how can we, you're not doing it alone, but how can you coordinate things? Who owns what, and what are they owning? What can be delegated? If you are the database manager, what can you hand off to your ministry leaders? If you are a ministry leader, what can you funnel down to a lay leader or a volunteer? How can you delegate this so your whole team is working together? That sounds delightful, Sarah, but nobody on my team really wants to sit in a planning meeting and map out on the big whiteboard. You can change that. So brainstorm some ideas, and I would love to see some of these ideas pop up in the chat. Brainstorm some ideas of how can you make these strategy parties fun so that everyone gets excited about Christmas. I'll start. our choir did a sweaters and sweets party at the beginning of September. They were kicking off all the Christmas music for the Christmas season. So everybody did sweaters and sweets, and they invited friends. So they recruited new members to the choir. They had a cookie swap. They wore fun sweaters, and they jumped into their Christmas music right at the beginning of the season, and everybody was excited and had fun with it. So how can you create a sweaters and sweets kind of feel for your team, for your ministry team, as you approach the things that need to happen during Christmas? So throw it up there in the chat. Maybe you can inspire a friend, but how can you create some fun energy to just maybe take the edge off of the Christmas planning a little bit? Yeah, the planning. So yeah, map it out, Cody.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're getting into. So, communication strategy, we'll start there.
Yeah, so I like the branding. Okay, so if you have a great theme and idea, marketing people, don't just keep it in your pocket. Share it with the rest of your team. So as they're creating email templates, as they're creating different registrations and schedulers, they can use those same themes so that your whole church is presenting a united front. Can't tell you how many times a team has created their own Christmas that totally clashed with the Christmas that was happening in the rest of the church. Sure, they stood out, but maybe not for the reason we wanted them to. So you have that one. So let's go through a little bit more. What's the rest of the communication strategy? There's our marketing. Share the colors. Oh, the hex codes. Make sure you share those colors with your whole team so everybody can brand together. What registrations do you need to build? Are there volunteers that you need to schedule? Go ahead and get those schedulers built. None of this stuff has to go live until the date you want to set it. So you can build all of these things in advance. Do you have your email templates ready? Are they branded to match everything else? Are there auto emails that are going out through your process builder that could maybe incorporate some of your Christmas themes? And then a finance team, I haven't forgotten you, those special offerings. Do you have giving pages built for your special offerings? And then there's your secret weapon. Don't forget to get your Christmas stuff up on your app. Set your banners now so that they pop up. You can set a start and an end date on those banners. Are there channels where people can follow along to get the latest and greatest information about Christmas and parking and volunteering? So make sure you activate those mobile app tools. And then last but not least, children's ministry or student ministry, maybe use your check-in to promote Christmas in advance. So if you start to get those images in front of people, they're going to go, oh, I meant to sign up for volunteer as they're signing their kids in. So make sure you're using all those different tools and shells, and make sure your image and thought process is consistent so that the whole church can see and get in the groove with you. So yeah, that's what I have in my pocket, Cody. What do you have in your pocket?
Yeah, well, okay, let's say that we've made the list, right? So we've made the list of everything that can happen between now and November, right? So we've got our list, we've got it all, we sort of plan the work, and then we'll work the plan, and we have our list of things that have to wait until November, December in order to do. So we're all squared away there. How do we sort of take it to the next level? What tools do we have in our toolbox that we can utilize? What comes next, you might ask, because it's on the screen? Ticketing. So if you don't know, now you know. There is a ticketing function within TouchPoint. So if you need to limit or organize an audience around a specific event, let's say, you might want to look into ticketing. It's in our documentation. There is some costs involved with that, just full disclaimer. But you can have general admission tickets to kind of, again, limit who all is coming to a specific event. Or you can even assign specific seats. I mean, as you can see right here, you can map out your auditorium and even, assign seats for events as they're coming up for you. So that can be immensely helpful as you guys are going into that. This is typically the time of year, the one and only time of year, often that we have these type of events at the church. And maybe there's something else, but typically this is it, right? And I do want to let you guys know that currently in production is making this ticketing even better, and kind of tying it in with the registration experience. So we're really excited to get that in y'all's hands in the not too distant future. If you'd like more information about ticketing, feel free to submit a support ticket, or like I said, just check out our documentation there. Next, Process Builder. Some of you guys already know about Process Builder. It's currently in beta, and it should be coming out soon in the not too distant future. So essentially, your Process Builder tool is going to help you to manually or automatically move people step by step through specific processes. So for example, if somebody meets a saved search criteria, they can automatically be added into the process, and you can assign tasks, you can shoot off emails or SMS or notes, or add them to a specific involvement, or maybe even change their role, add or subtract a role. I think the biggest benefit of Process Builder is helping you guys to identify bottlenecks in the step-by-step processes, and follow-up processes, or really anything that you guys are walking people through step by step, and just make sure that nobody is falling through the cracks or waiting too long for that next step, and just sort of stay organized. A lot of churches have really, really great processes in some 3-ring binder that lives somewhere in the church office, but they're not exactly sure if those things are actually happening in real life. Well, this is a digital way to be able to track these things step by step. So we're really excited to get that in your hands real soon. And then dashboards and reporting. What's the most important thing that each member of your team needs to know when they log into TouchPoint? Is that sort of front and center for them, role-based, of course, to where they're getting that information quickly and easily when they log into TouchPoint, using our dashboards and widgets and reports and all those things. So tasks and notes are kind of a no-brainer. Those who received a first touch but maybe not a follow-up is like an example of that. We can see a quick link to a saved search for first-time visitors from the past X number of days. Maybe first-time givers in the same way. Maybe we have a whole follow-up process that's specific to first-time givers and how we want to thank them and kind of draw them into their next step in the faith journey there. Or another example would be like kids in a life group, but maybe their parents aren't. That's sort of low-hanging fruit type of thing for inviting them to an upcoming event or something along those lines. So those are kind of the big pieces there. And then, of course, scheduler. So getting kind of our service times nailed out. There's no reason why we can't go ahead and ask people to serve in the holiday time before November, right? I mean, people are making holiday plans even now, right? So if we can kind of know who those people are and invite them to come and serve during that Christmas season. I mean, the worst that they can say is no, and then we kind of have an answer, and then we can kind of fill in those gaps sooner rather than later. Again, the heart behind this is try to make this lift a little bit lighter for you this year. So can we be thinking about our volunteer schedules well ahead of time, and maybe even asking people to commit sooner rather than later? And then, of course, managing expectations, additional worship times, all of those things, getting all that lined out. But manage expectations in terms of, do they expect me to be here? Do they not? That type of thing. So that's kind of the next steps beyond that. Now we're going to go into kind of fantasy land a little bit and talk about some what-ifs. So I'm going to start with the what-ifs, and then Sarah's going to round them off a little bit, all right? So what if, theoretically, what if you guys had a guest follow-up process that was tailored for your CEOs? Now, your CEOs, if you don't already know, those are your Christmas and Easter onlys, your CEOs that are coming through your church there. Do we want to adjust the guest follow-up process? It's not like a typical Sunday. Maybe we have a slightly different follow-up process specifically for our CEOs there that might be more effective. We can at least experiment with it. what if your connections team had a clear plan for next steps for their follow-up? So, Guest Central or Connect Central or whatever you guys call it. Again, maybe there's a slightly different approach for Christmas than there is for every other Sunday on the year, and really designed for the guest in mind, but also for your team in mind. Or what if you guys assigned a small number of CEOs, I don't know, 5 to 10 or something manageable, to specific small group leaders or Sunday school teachers to invite them to join in on their community, that they have a sort of personal invite to join our, whatever you call them, small group, community group, D group, whatever, come and be a part of our community. Again, what can I delegate? How can I equip the saints for the work of ministry rather than trying to take it all on myself? So those are my what ifs. Sarah, what are your what ifs?
So yeah, what if? And remember, guys, I'm coming at this from a database manager history. So let's try to look at this as y'all know that new people files and records show up, and some of them are duplicates, and some of them are not, and some of them are people who didn't even know they had attended your church 3 years ago. So what if you had an entry point, maybe in your lookup codes that said CEO, and it went with all of your registrations or volunteer schedulers or anything that's open to the public, that kind of showed you, oh, hey, they came from here, and so they came at Christmas, and so they can go into the CEO hospitality process. What if you had a member status that was CEO, and it was, you can auto change some of those member statuses with your settings. What if it was a 30-day, okay, they came at Christmas. We all know between the Christmas New Year's switch, but everybody makes New Year's resolutions. So what if you had a member status that you could search on or pull or trigger, that in 2 weeks they get an email from hospitality? Hey, how's that New Year's resolution going? How can we walk beside you, etc. So maybe look at some of those back end things that can help you move people on. What if, I'm going to skip over that next one, you had all the volunteers lined up before Thanksgiving. Let's skip to the next one. What if you used engagement scores or another saved search to find people who liked the sprint volunteer opportunities? So you guys know what I mean by a sprint opportunity, right? Not the people like small group leaders or class leaders that have to show up every Sunday from now until eternity. Not the marathon users, okay? We're talking about the people who are willing to come in, do a quick sprint event, and then they're on to the next thing. I can't tell you how many times a very dedicated ministry leader has been able to take someone who came in for a sprint opportunity. Okay, so they volunteered for the Easter egg hunt, but now they liked what they did in children's ministry, so now they're going to sub on a Sunday morning, or now they're going to work on the check-in team on Sunday morning on a once or twice a month situation, and you can grow and nurture those volunteers, those sprint volunteers, into marathon volunteers. But how can you use engagement scores or other saved searches to find those sprinters that you can train into marathoners? And then what if you really did have all of your volunteers lined up before Thanksgiving? How would that change your energy and your hospitality towards your coworkers and the people coming into your church, if you had done, some pre-planning and you had dedicated some volunteer time at the beginning, that you could walk into Christmas knowing that you were ready? And then what if we did not wait until November to submit the print request on all of our print media? What if we gave our communications team the gift of getting our requests in ahead of time, and we were ready a little bit ahead of time and didn't back them up against a wall to pay express shipping on some things. So what if you had an invitation ready? I don't know. Do y'all do the pocket cards? We have little pocket cards that we keep by our door for a regular Sunday invite. What if your Christmas pocket cards hit the doors for people to pick up and take with them the beginning of November? How would that change what Christmas looks like at your church? Remember, back to that 57% of people said, I would come to church if somebody just invited me. How can we activate that? How can we put those in the hands of the people, the hands of our congregation? So what ifs do you guys have? What are some what if I like brainstorm that a little bit, talk amongst yourselves, and brainstorm some what ifs that maybe help you do better? Because, what do we say, Cody? Iron sharpens iron, right? So, what can we put out in front of people, and what ideas can we share?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So going back to kind of an idea that we talked about a little bit earlier, who owns what, right? I mean, really having clarity on that is everything. And again, to reiterate, friends, you do not have to do it all on your own. Is there anything that you can and I think the earlier that we ask, the the less of an ask it really is. If it's the 11th hour, hey, can you take this and do it and make it awesome? That's stressful for everyone. But the earlier that we can ask, I think the more success we might have, because then they'll be able to ask questions along the way, and you sort of take all of that work that often gets crammed into, let's say, 1 or 2 months, 6 weeks, whatever it is, and sort of spread it out over time, which is, again, kind of the theme of today's webinar. And then we want to encourage you guys to have fun. Christmas is fun. Celebrate the King and the kingdom. I mean, that's really and truly what it's all about. Maybe we're wearing ugly Christmas sweaters all month long in December. Like I'm a big, like, yeah, there you go. Now we're talking. I'm a big after Thanksgiving, like on that Black Friday day. Now we're full blown Christmas. That's just me. Some people are already have their Christmas tree up. I think Haley, our marketing director, already has like 7 up right now. I'm just kidding, not really, but she gets them up early. So I don't know. Make it fun. Make it awesome. Make this year the best year that you've got. Because why? All this for our King and His glory. I love this quote. We watch Christmas Carol which a lot of people do, but I kind of been reading it once a year. It's not that long. I listen to audiobooks, full disclosure, but I love this quote from A Christmas Carol. So Dickens, right? It was always said of Scrooge that he knew how to keep Christmas well if any man alive possessed the knowledge. And to me, that's really inspirational to keep Christmas well, and to remember what we're celebrating, and hopefully it will be slightly less stressful this year, and therefore that much more enjoyable for you guys. So with that, we will turn the corner and we're going to go to questions. So what questions do we have from Q&A or from the chat? What do we have, Sarah?
I mean, I'm not really. A lot of people answered your trivia questions, so yeah, that's fun. So wait, I gotta address this, Matt. No. I have a very strict no Christmas before Thanksgiving rule. It is all jazz. It is all Buble jazz until Thanksgiving, and then we flip to the Buble Christmas music. So I got to call you out on that, Matt, that Christmas music belongs after Thanksgiving.
But it's always Buble.
Well, I mean, you got some Dean Martin in there. You got some, you had some Frank. You got to have the jazz during Thanksgiving, because jazz is, I feel like, the most Americana music genre. That's just my 2 cents. But Harry Connick, see, Jared's in there with me. Jared gets it. It's all jazz. But yeah, but I saved the Christmas music after, and then Christmas music, you gotta have, somebody's gonna say you gotta have the Mariah Carey, but we all. I want to know. I have a poll question for y'all. Who plays Whamageddon? Cody, do you know about Whamageddon?
This is literally the first time I've ever heard those sounds together.
Okay, anybody? I'm watching the chat because somebody has to know about Whamageddon. Somebody other than me. Okay, Laura knows about Whamageddon. Okay, so here it is, Cody. Whamageddon. What's the Wham Christmas song? Laura, help me out. There's a Wham Christmas song.
Last Christmas?
Yes. Yes, Last Christmas. Okay. So it is who can go the longest. You pick a group of people and who can go the longest without hearing Last Christmas. So as soon as you hear it, you're out of the pool, you know? And then yeah, so who can go the longest? And it's like when you're out in stores or if you turn on the radio or something, anybody. And it's, I mean, it is a little bit of an honor system that you got to say, do covers count? I don't know if covers count. I think it's really got to be the original. Has to be the original Wham tune. But so there you go, Cody. It's you.
I'm gonna be
you
texting
now
you
have
when I hear it. Now I have to.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The entire TouchPoint staff, as of Summit, we will all we will all be playing Whamageddon, and we'll let you know at New Year's who lost or who won Whamageddon. How about that, Haley? Hold us to it. Yeah, see, I know how to get people talking. Cody. It's all about Whamageddon. No, that is evil. We should play it in the hotel lobby at Summit. That is totally cheating. You are all cheaters. You are cheaters. That's not, yeah, no. And the zoo. Look at them. They're out to get us, Cody. We're just going to have to walk around with, earmuffs on all through Summit.
Can you imagine if Last Christmas is playing at the Birmingham Zoo in September? How weird that would be.
That's not fair. Y'all, okay, I'm definitely packing my earmuffs for Summit this year. I just pull my Santa hat down tight. That's funny. No, that's not right. Don't encourage this, Stephanie. You can't encourage them to wham us. That's bad news. I feel bad for anybody who's not on this webinar who comes to Summit prepared for Whamageddon. You know, like they have no idea what Whamageddon is, and yeah, that's why you don't skip webinars. Because we miss out on we need
absolutely. I think we need to add a rule that if you hear Last Christmas at Summit, it does not count. It needs to be in the wild, on the radio, Spotify, something like that.
It was whammed at Summit 24. No, that's not fair. Can I just tell you, Cody, I love our team. And I love that we're having Christmas in July, actually 5 months from today. Okay, 5 months from today. So we are celebrating legit Christmas in July. But I also love that our partners get on board with things like Whamageddon and Christmas spirit this early in the year. I hope you guys can carry Whamageddon back, like this Whamageddon energy. This is so weird. This is a first for webinar, I'm sure. But I hope you can carry this kind of fun and this energy that we're generating here back to your teams and use something like this, just a simple, silly conversation to get your team hyped and excited about Christmas. And then you just sprinkle in some of the TouchPoint tools and you have the best Christmas yet, right? So, yeah.
Are there no software questions?
No software questions. They got sidetracked by your trivia, Captain Trivia.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
good times.
Let's roll. Look at these guys.
Yeah, look at that guy is what I'm going to say. Look at that guy. Because I've done my part. I just teed it up for him.
He's right here in Colorado this week. He's up in family vacation with him and his family right here in Colorado, which is awesome. But if you guys don't already know Andrew and Sarah, then you're missing out because they're wonderful and they can help be your guide, your river guide on the journey of leveraging technology to do ministry more effectively. So if you need help with any of the things that we've talked about, and it's a lot, to try to do those things on your own, don't hesitate to reach out. Sarah and Andrew, I know, both have a huge heart to serve, and would love to help you out on those things. Do you want to add anything, Sarah? Are you good?
I'm great. I assure you that I bring this same level of energy. So, if you need consulting hours and I'm too much, I get that completely. Andrew's your safer bet. But if you want to have fun while we do all these things and you really want to just to be a little unhinged, that's what I bring to the party. We'll get the job done, but we'll definitely, buddy the elf, what's your favorite color, along the way. So,
along with firsthand in the trenches.
I did not, Jared. I did not say that.
Yeah, that you bringing that too. Absolutely. All right, friends. Well, thank you in giant letters. Thank you so much for being trusted partners with TouchPoint. Thank you for being on today's webinar. Thank you for your service to the church, to the King, and the kingdom. God sees your effort. You do not do this alone. He's with you all the time. I know that ministry can be lonely at times. It can be thankless at times, but just know that the Creator and King of heaven and earth sees all of your effort, all of your stress, and He loves you dearly, and He cares about you. Yeah, we love you guys too. Hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. And we'll see you at Summit. How about that?
Yeah, don't get whammed.
All right, guys. Love you. Bye.